Grace, hope, and Holy Ghost power will be with you all on this day. My name is Minister Christian S. Watkins, and I bring you greetings on behalf of the National Council of Churches in Washington, D.C., proudly representing 38 Christian denominations, that is roughly 100,000 congregations and about 30 million people of faith across the United States. I rise today to say that the eyes of the nation are upon Texas, and the faith community, the faith advocacy community, stands with you all. Thank you, Texas Impact, for gathering us together in this space today, and it is a blessing to speak on the same dais as many of the esteemed leaders, such as you all. Bishop McKee, bless you for being here, and bless you all for your tireless work. Since Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. marched in Selma, Alabama, and Washington, D.C. back in 1960s, the National Council of Churches has stood in solidarity and spoken prophetically about voting and civil rights, among other social justice issues, and we're definitely not stopping now. Voting rights are under attack in this nation once again, and our demands are simple. They are not radical or peculiar demands. We come today to demand that both the United States Congress and the Texas legislature let my people vote. The National Council of Churches echoes the clarion call of abolishing the Jim Crow filibuster and the passage of both the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act and the For the People Act. Two strong pieces of legislation that will go a long way in reforming our democratic processes and safeguarding our sacred right to vote. I, for one, am grateful for the Texas Legislature Democrats for leaving the state, disrupting the flow of voter suppression and restrictive voting laws inspired by former President Donald Trump's lies. It was the prophet Jeremiah that proclaimed God's anguish in saying, they have treated the wounds of my people carelessly, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. When really has our nation truly been at peace? Our democracy being under attack is nothing new. In fact, our democracy as a system of government of the people, by the people, for the people, has been under attack since this nation was very established. The United States' lofty democratic ideals of unalienable rights and all persons being born equal was aborted before it was ever born. Speaking plainly, it was the founding old white male land-owning enslavers and their co-conspirators who compromised the establishment of true democracy when they intentionally included from we the people in the preamble of our nation's constitution, indigenous people, Latino people, and melanated men and women who built this nation with their blood and bodies free of charge, but at many costs. Before then and now, we has not included all. People has not included all of us. We, the wildest dreams of our sable-skinned ancestors, we, the perpetually excluded, and our multicultural cadre of righteous, indignant co-conspirators, must continue to fight and demand that our very humanity be honored and our full rights be unencumbered. Thinking critically about race and its impacts on society would help us further understand these intersectional issues, but some folks don't want that kind of wisdom well known. Various influential members of the United States Congress have said that voting rights are fundamental to our democracy. Those words are meaningless unless they are backed up. Driven by fear of losing power through the dismantling of white supremacist rules and institutions, the filibuster has long been used by avowed racists who strategically willed its power to kill any progress to secure voting and civil rights for people of color in our nation. Driven by fear of losing power and prestige, both Texas Senate Bill 1 and House Bill 3 severely curtailed the hallmark of free and fair elections through voter suppression tactics from an old Jim Crow playbook. Driven by fear of losing power, they look to empower partisan poll watchers to create conflicts at the polls and limit who, when, and where citizens can carry out their sacred right to vote. I rise to tell you to say that enough is enough. That fear is crippling our country. That fear of racial equity is impeding progress. That fear of doing what is right instead of what is financially and politically advantageous is perpetuating injustice by those we, the people, elect to power. But my Bible tells me that God did not give us a spirit of fear, But God gave us a spirit of love, hope, power, and of a sound mind. I feel my help coming through here. We must use that sound mind, that good sense God gave us, and the power of all our unified voices to collectively advocate, to move power for the benefit of all God's creation, for all God's people, for the edification of this country that we love. Beloved, we're standing in a long legacy of ecumenical, civic, and social leaders standing in the gap for the least, last, and lost among us. The struggle continues indeed, and we're going to keep fighting and doing it together. Am I right about it? Yeah. We got to keep up the good trouble, calling on the better angels of the adversaries until justice is won. Justice is not a once and done type fight. It's got to be fought over and over and over again. While there's nothing new under the sun, our time under God is now. Everybody say, I'm all in. Let me hear it one more time. Say, I'm all in. If you love our country's foundational principles and all people are created equal and have unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, then keep up the good trouble and advocating for what is right in our country. Let me hear you say, I'm all in again. If you love this country's rich diversity and the contributions communities of colors have continuously made despite being disenfranchised, then keep standing up and speaking out on those things that are set to divide us and destroy us. Let me hear you say it one last time. I'm all in. Beloved, if you love doing what is good, standing for what is right and racially equitable, and seeing progress for we the people, say, let my people vote. Let my people vote. My name is Minister Christian S. Watkins of the National Council of Churches, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like water and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream.